Hi, this is Jim with NDI November, and I am being joined by a special guest in studio today. Judy from Kiloview is going to be talking to us about her NDI products and all of the great workflow solutions available from Kiloview. Judy has just joined us at the NAB New York show. It was a great show, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure. That's a fantastic show.
It really is a fantastic show, and we're very happy that while you were in town, you took the opportunity to come in studio. We usually have you joining us over Teams, and it's
Yeah.
so much better to have you here in person.
Thank you so much, Jim. I'm also very excited to be in person in the studio
Yep,
and to talk about the NDI workflows and all those things.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've been doing NDI November for a number of years, and I know
Yeah.
we've had you join us as a guest in past years.
hmm
And one of the things I would love to do is start by talking about Kiloview's rich history in NDI solutions.
Yeah, exactly. In the past month, in September, actually, we also announced a few like celebration videos to just review our history with NDI for 10 years. And there was also this year is the 10th anniversary of NDI. So starting with NDI in our history can go back to like 2016 sometime. And all those years, what we try to do is always just bringing products out. So yeah, that's why you can see Kiloview has a bunch of products
Yep,
around NDI, right? Like we have all kinds of the NDI converters,
yes.
um, you know, all kinds of form factors, not just SDI, HDMI in, out, but also we have the systems solutions like the recorders, multiview, routing systems, as well as all those kind of media gateway products that can cross convert NDI to the other IP technologies or
Okay.
IP technologies back to NDI. So what we in the past 10 years, I think what we try to do is always trying to get a product fit into the NDI workflow in the NDI industry that can make people really use our products and solutions to just switch from the traditional baseband workflows to IP. And also we are just always trying to help customers to make a more flexible and efficient solution, just also making them to enjoy the IP technology, IP world. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I'm sure that there are many people in our audience who are
yeah.
familiar with the Kiloview brand with the simple HDMI to NDI converters,
Mm-hmm.
SDI to NDI
Yeah.
converters. One of the things that we've seen as NDI technology is maturing
Mm-hmm.
is the need for more enterprise workflows.
Yeah.
And what I'm excited to talk to you about today are some of the enterprise solutions
Mm-hmm.
that are available for some really super advanced workflows, namely the brand new Kiloview RFO2, the Cradle Series.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that product and why that product was created?
Yeah, of course. As we previously mentioned, we have a bunch of the NDI products from the converters to the media gateway to the NDI solutions. Well, when we provide this kind of solutions to customers and the customers trying to put the products, the NDI solutions into real workflows, in of course studios, broadcast studios, as well as especially as you mentioned into the enterprise, the corporates, or some of the sites. The the thing is we still IP is already saving a lot of the time, energy to get the cables out. But still, even if you are using the IP solutions, still there are a lot of cables, a lot less cables, but still a lot of
Yeah,
cables.
a
and
lot of cables and a lot of
uh,
little black boxes, right?
yes,
Yes.
yes, a lot of boxes and a lot of configurations. Like, every device probably will have a specific IP address. You need to get access in. You need to set up everything. Still, you will need to jump here or there. Well, at the same time, sometimes if you really want to move a solution from this side to the other, you still have a lot of things to start. Like you need to take the cables, you need to wire up everything. So we still feel like we can do something to improve the whole workflow to make it even easier, simpler, and more efficient.
Absolutely.
And that's why we are thinking, why not get less cables? We put a network switch part module inside of the solution, then there will definitely less cables. And why not we put a server inside, then we can centralizely manage all the devices. And why not expand the workload so people will be able to run all the other software solutions in it. And that's why we designed the RFO2.
And what I love about the RFO2 is that when it was designed,
Mm-hmm.
you created this universal media center product,
Mm-hmm.
but with a modular design
Mm-hmm.
capability
Yeah.
so that system integrators and enterprise customers can really configure
Mm-hmm.
and set this up to meet their production needs. A little bit later on this afternoon, we're going to have someone from our sales engineering team join you
Yeah.
to talk about some of these advanced workflows.
Yeah.
But the Cradle series has the ability to put in up to 18 different modular cards, right?
Yes, yes. So it's very high density. Within 2RU, we actually have 18 card slots.
Wow.
So you will be able to choose whatever cards that fit into your workflow and give you full flexibility to combine your solutions. So you can choose all of them to be encoding card to make it a super encoder, or you can choose all of them to be the decoding mode. So all of them will be a super decoder.
Yep.
Or you can combine encoding, decoding, plus with our media gateway card to do the cross conversion and to make it as a kind of small studio.
Yep.
So it's very, very flexible.
Very flexible, very robust, fully integrated network switch is built into the chassis itself, right?
Yeah, yeah. So getting the network switch inside, actually, as mentioned, all the 18 cards can talk through the internal network switch through the PCIe interface without really need to connect each card with a cable, and then each card will have another IP address, but all through the internal one, they will be able to assign the IP addresses through the internal network switch and making everything just DHCP. So when you plug in the card, everything will automatically give you the message and that you can directly get access, and each card can talk to each other internally and making it more reliable and also even more efficient for transmission, lower latency, and all those things all come together.
And to the point that you made earlier, picture a desktop studio with 18 little black boxes and network cables connected to every one of them, and HDMI and SDI cables and all these things now built into a rack-mountable 2RU chassis, giving you the ability to create that engine that drives your entire workflow. That is a great design. And here we're looking at a little bit of the modular design and really all those different capabilities that you can do with the different cards through the RFO2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the different card options and some of the modular cards that are available. Can you introduce them to us, Judy?
Yeah, sure. So right now we have already quite a few options now. We have the FM50, FM60. That's the 4K HDR level of the bidirectional conversion card, not only for NDI, but also we open to the other IP protocols like SRT, RTMP, RTSP for remote transmission, for live streaming. And it's bidirectional, so you can switch over between the encoding mode to the decoding mode. And also we have the newly released FM7 and FM8, which is the HD version that's more cost effective. We have the media gateway card, that's what we previously mentioned. And also we have the FD360, which is a kind of decoding card, but also we can make it working as a kind of hardware multiview. It can support up to 16 IP video streams come in, and you can create the layouts with different multiview modes. And also the compute card. That's what we are going to talk later,
Yes.
as well as probably we will have more cards to come and then give more options to customers.
And the great thing is you can configure this gateway
Mm-hmm.
or the Cradle Series, the RFO2,
Mm-hmm.
to include the modular cards that you need today
Yeah.
and expand it
Mm-hmm.
as the production needs grow too.
Yeah.
And you can do all of that through these different capabilities.
Yeah.
You spoke already about the encoding and decoding cards
Mm-hmm.
and the different families of cards that are
Mm-hmm.
available to meet the production needs.
Yeah.
Not just NDI, your other
Or
AV over
other
IP protocols,
yes, yeah.
HDMI, SDI
SDI,
solutions,
yes.
HD, 4K
4K,
HDR.
yeah.
You're checking every box with these cards
Yeah,
along
yes. Yeah.
the way. And then we talked about the media gateway card.
Yeah.
This really opens up the door for some other truly unique applications too, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the media gateway card, as we call it, a gateway. So it's really a gateway to all kinds of the IP technologies. So not only is a IP to IP conversion card, so that can support the protocol conversion, but also can support the transcoding. So imagine if you have like your existing NDI production systems, which only takes the high bandwidth NDI, but right now I think most of the PVC cameras now is outputting the NDI HX.
Yep.
So there is always a gap, and you're thinking about using the NDI bridge or some other software to do the conversion. But you can also use our media gateway card to do the transcoding from HX to high bandwidth NDI, or you can also do the conversion between the NDI to like SRT to RTMP for whatever, different workflow purposes. And another thing we would like to highlight is the FMG card can also be the gateway to like receiving our bonding signals from our P3, our P3 mini. So just imagine this one can also be work as a kind of bonding receiver. So you can get the field video signals and using the RFO2 to receive it, and using the media gateway card to like streaming it or to sending back to your studio or whatever. So there are quite a lot of flexibility with
Absolutely.
the FMG 400.
So production customers who are looking to add remote contribution, you can send them with a P3 Mini or a Kiloview P3 out into the field with cellular bonding and receive that back through the media gateway.
Yes.
And then take that video feed and incorporate it into your full NDI production,
yes.
AV over IP, whatever you need to do.
Yes.
You can get that all routed through that Cradle Series. That's excellent. And then we talked a little bit about the compute card. This is one of my favorite things that you've done with the RFO2. It really is like putting another engine inside of this processing power. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, exactly. Every time when we talk to customers, there is always a kind of needs like they, as we are doing the IP technology, then the biggest advantage with IP is everything can be like powered by your software. So, and always a computer will be very important in the workflow. And customers say, oh, if we really have some kind of like production process on field, we don't really want to carry a lot of the computers. So that's the reason we're thinking, why not we put the computer inside of the RFO2, and then that means it's a kind of expansion of the whole workflow. We will be able to run whatever software, either is for audio, for video, mixing, graphics, switching, recording, routing, whatever. Then it's just really a magic thing, putting it inside of the RFO2, making the whole workflow even more complete, and exactly just as you mentioned, it's really the engine for the whole RFO2. It's the core parts.
Absolutely. And I know our system integrators who are installing these NDI production studios will use these in very different, unique ways and applications, even to tie in special audio, video, HTML graphics platforms. Any of that can all be done with the use of this compute card. With the RFO2, it is designed for an enterprise installation.
Yeah.
You're getting that rack mountable, and when you look at the unit itself, you've seen everything that Kiloview has done to add to that reliability, right?
Yeah, of course. So, cooling is very essential for this
Yes.
kind of units, and well, it's very high density, and also we are putting the compute card inside. So just imagine.
With 17 others, by the way.
Yeah, just imagine if you really run all those things inside of that very high density rack mount chassis, reliability and also the cooling and all those kind of how we will be able to make it working reliably 24/7 non-stop. That's always essential. And of course we have quite a lot of the special designs and the cooling mechanism, redundant power supply, and also giving you the flexibility to monitor all the status from the display. Yeah.
Awesome. We spoke a lot about the RFO2. I do want to take a little time and talk about the Cube series of products too, because again, these are very unique solutions in an NDI workflow. Tell us a little bit about the Cube R1 and the Cube X1.
Yeah, sure. So as we all know, for the NDI workflow recording, and if you also have a lot of the sources and routing the signals from this source to that destination is always a kind of common request. So the idea is we want to provide a kind of turnkey solution for our customers based on our hardware that can very easily, for customers to choose whatever sources they need to different destinations. And that's why we designed the Cube X1. It can take up to 16 video sources in, and you can also create up to 32 destinations. So, and also through the the touch screen on the units, you'll be able to preview all the sources, where you can very easily select the sources routing to different destinations, and also you have the options with the cross points or whatever. And most importantly, we also offer the APIs, so you can easily integrate into the systems for easy routing and control, and also even it can realize like automatic switching if you set up a kind of playlist with the Cube X1. And for recording, that's also very essential. And exactly as we previously mentioned for the compute card, the same idea, customers say, oh, we don't really want to bring a laptop to run the recording software and then build a kind of a specific recording device that can support multiple channel of the NDI recording simultaneously. And even we have more options for like, the recording file the formats, and also how we will be able to like easily doing the backup recording to make sure of the reliability. That's all we considered to put into the Cube R1, and very easily for customers to put the Cube R1 into the workflow.
Absolutely. And I know even in our own NDI production studio, to use the Cube R1 to record all of these NDI sources and to get that ISO recording takes a lot of the production power away from the system that's doing the producing itself. So if you're using something like a TriCaster system, you want to make sure you have as much horsepower as possible for your production. So now offloading something like ISO recording to a Cube R1 is just a great workflow enhancement. Lots of different options, lots of different solutions from the Kiloview product family. We're really only talking about a few. Between the RFO2 and the Cube products, we're really just touching upon some of the great NDI stuff that you have available. So thank you for all the great stuff that you're introducing. I am going to ask you to stay in studio with us for a few more moments, because what I'd like to do is invite Dan Hirshorn from our sales engineering team to talk to you about some of the different workflow configurations on the RFO2. We have sales engineers here at Broadfield Distributing who can help our customers and system integrators talk about some of the different ways the RFO2 can be configured to make your production a success. So stay tuned. Dan will be coming up with Judy in just a moment.
Hey there, welcome back to NDI November. I'm Dan Hirshorn, workflow sales specialist here at Broadfield. Just want to take a second to introduce our CP crew, our sales engineering team here at Broadfield, led by Glenn Seaman, my counterpart Logan, who are both based out of Texas, and I'm here at HQ in Mineola, New York on Long Island. Really a pleasure to have Judy from Kiloview here in the studio with us today. She already had a great conversation with Jim, but really I'm jumping in so we can get a little more technical. And really what I'm here for our dealers is to be an extension of the Kiloview team. It's to be an extension of all our manufacturers to help you guys figure out, fine tune, hone in on the technology that you need to complete your workflows, in a variety of different verticals. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So there's a lot of application scenarios here that we can look at with the RFO2, right, Judy?
Yeah, of course. As previously we have already went through the, what the RFO2 can do. And with all those kind of designs, combining with the network switching side and the flexibility that you can put whatever you want. And specifically, we have the compute cards. So that actually can make the RFO2 a perfect fit for all kinds of scenarios. And just imagine, of course, the broadcast studios, the enterprise or corporates, and also like house of worship, sports, or like for the other production scenarios, events, whatever. The RFO2 can always be a great help for customers that's either they want to stream or they want to do all those kind of transmission or whatever. And yeah, that's what it can help as always.
I think it's worth bringing up house of worship. I know a lot of our dealers out there watching have a lot of success placing technology that works in house of worship for these streaming applications for these services. And the RFO2 is the next logical step. Once you've got maybe 9, 10, 15 Kiloview decoders on your desk, maybe it makes sense to have them living in the brain, the shell, and that compact 2RU. You're just getting a lot more value, scalability, flexibility. Like you said, we know there's 18 module slots. You can have that compute card in there. It can scale to, for House of Worship, up all the way up to these mega churches. Obviously we see some smaller setups where maybe this is overkill and we can just get them the encoders and decoders and the gateway cards that they need. But once you're really sending your signal around to a lot of places and doing a lot of things at once, it can get very complicated. And that's what my team is here to do. And we're actively involved in speccing out Kiloview solutions for our dealers right now. So it's a lot of fun for us to talk to end users and talk to the manufacturer and sit there and say, how can we get this working in a way that makes the lives easier of those who are producing these shows in these churches, in these synagogues, in these mosques. Super cool and very related to what we're seeing in the enterprise and corporate space. Conference rooms,
training rooms, classrooms.
A lot of that. I mean, something I like to say is that every company is a media company. So even if you sell life insurance, at the end of the day, we're all making content. We're all making video in a variety of codecs, resolutions. It gets complicated fast. And luckily, Kiloview has a tool for basically everything in your NDI environment. I think it's worth taking a look at sports as well. I know we have a lot of dealers in that space. So could you tell us a little bit about how maybe the RFO2 would work in a sports workflow?
So for sports, I think this is really a very interesting scenario that all kinds of scenarios that probably could be possible using the RFO2. So first of all, if it's really very simple scenarios like you are just getting a few signals with the fixed cameras, then having the RFO2 just connecting the cameras together and also converting the signals into NDI. And if you want to do like graphics, you want to do a little bit production switching between the cameras and also doing the streaming or whatever, then, easily just put a few conversion cards into NDI, and also after getting the production, get it back to multiview or whatever, running either on our compute card, or if you have any separate production systems, that's all possible. And also, if there is any kind of like, the mobile shooting cameras,
Absolutely.
Using the 4G, 5G on the field, then also you will need to think about all those kind of like our P3, the P3 mini, the bonding encoders, and the RFO2 can, by nature, it can also receive the bonding signals from our P3 and the P3 mini, and it can also bring it into the NDI workflow through our KiloLink server and getting the video signals into the production system. So that actually can help a lot, either for the production purposes or is like, for some of the clubs, for all those kind of sports clubs, for the hospitality area, for the venues, how they will really actively receive all those signals back, and just bringing an RFO2 on site, and just imagine how easy it is. Yeah.
No, it's fascinating, and likewise, I think it's worth bringing up. Sports production and regular broadcast production.
Yes,
we're showing an example of a real RFO2 use case here in the slide.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a lot of tools. Like I said, you might not know day one when you start imagining your Kiloview journey, your NDI journey, what exactly you need in this workflow. But I think it's important to point out, like we're talking with that remote piece, Kiloview has complementary products on their line that can even complement further what is already a very robust platform with the RFO2. So it just goes to show your guys' experience with NDI is impressive, and it has, it shows through the way that all of your products really work together. So in this example here, what can you tell us a little bit about what's going on, what the end user is trying to do here?
Yeah, so this actually is a very typical case that we did with our local TV station, where they are going to do quite a lot of the events on site, not just in the fixed studios, but sometimes they also need to receive the signals, just for example, the sports or some kind of live events. So what we help them to design the system is we put our P3 on the field with all those kind of mobile shooting cameras, and just converts all the video signals back to NDI in the studio through our RFO2, and also the other video signals, just if it's fixed cameras, then we just convert the videos into NDI through our FM50, the 12G SDI conversion cards. So the 12G SDI up to 4K HDR high quality videos can be converted into NDI, and then, very flexibly, they can combine all those video signals, either is from the P3 or from the fixed cameras, and they can create a kind of like multiview through our FD360 card. That's, they can monitor everything, checking the status, while at the same time, they need to do a little bit production. That all depends the situation. Sometimes if it's really very professional one, then they will use the production systems, the big production systems. That if it's like, for those kind of weekend events for sports or whatever, those kind of concerts, then they just move the RFO2 to bring the compute card inside. Then they can flexibly just use like vMix or the other production software to put in the graphics, mixing a little bit, and doing the live streaming. And also, using kind of the decoding card, then they will also be able to bring the sources to the traditional production systems as well, while recording the signals, as we previously mentioned, using a independent recorder, the CubeR1, to do all the source recording, could actually save quite a lot of the power from like the production systems, and that can also make the whole workflow quite reliable, and they can also do like the editing or whatever in the future. So this is very typical, the solutions we use, the RFO2 and propose to those kind of broadcast users. And the beauty of this solution is, they can very flexibly adjust the workflows. Either they need to get more video sources in. If they have more cameras, then they just simply say, okay, let's put more encoding card in it.
Yep.
And if they want to like doing a little bit conversion, so if they have the SRT sources in and they want to convert into NDI, then using a media gateway card, they will be able to flexibly adjust everything. And it's always very easy for them to move the whole solution from here, there, and no extra cables to worry about. So
that's always nice.
Yeah, and also, through the unified platform, always just one IP to log in, and then you can manage all the cards. So making life much, much easier.
And I think that's a great point to sort of land on here.
Yeah.
The unified management features of the RFO2 really seal the deal in terms of what you're able to do with it and the ease at which you're able to make changes, even on the fly in some cases. So lots of options, lots of flexibility, lots of scalability, from project to project. Things could change. You might need more, you might need less. That's the beauty of this chassis. You can fill it with whatever your heart desires, as long as it's getting you your high quality end video result out to the people, right?
Yes, exactly.
And we do actually have a launch promotion coming up here. So this is extended through the end of the year, right? So through December 31st, 2025. Please reach out to me, Glenn, your Broadfield sales rep. Set up some time to talk to our sales engineering team if you have questions or even just curious about the RFO2 or anything on the Kiloview product line. We are happy to help. We have so much joy to work on projects like these that get interesting, down and dirty, in the weeds, technical, a little nerdy. We want to know that your needs, the speeds, how many feeds. We want to help you. And if we don't have the answer, we have a great engineering team over at Kiloview and Judy as well, who are happy to work and weigh in and help sort of execute these projects. Another thing I'm going to mention real quick is that we do have Kiloview eval gear available. So if you are looking to try some of this out, maybe you haven't used Kiloview before, please contact us. We're happy to get you some evaluation gear in your hands so you can play with it. We even have, in the studio here and the workbench where we could test certain workflows out for you ahead of time. So if you need things tested, we're happy to do so. We're happy to figure it out with you. We're just here to solve some problems together. And I think, an extra 10% off on the chassis and any module cars that you're buying is a pretty good deal.
Yes, it is. And it's extended until end of the year. So just seize the opportunity and start testing the unit.
And I would say now is the time with this promotion to start looking at this. And we're happy to discuss any and all configurations, workflows, or otherwise. So thank you so much, Judy, for being in the studio here today with us. It's been a pleasure. And thank you to the crew here. Thank you to Jim as well. And thanks for tuning in to NDI November.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Motorsport demands speed, performance, and precision in the track and also in live production. My name is JM from Kiloview team. Today, I've been invited by Malaysia Speed Festival to attend one of the Merdeka race here in Sepang International Circuit. What I have been told that we have NDI products, Kiloview products, empowering the whole production workflow over here. I'm really thrilled and I can't wait to see you guys what's in there. Now let's go.
Hi, my name is Adian and I am the principal for MSF Racing Series, that's Malaysian Speed Festival. We are possibly Malaysia's largest racing series. We have 5-6 races a year. We have superbikes, cars, go-karts, off-road bikes, all sorts of things. So we're very active. It's been 15 years I've been doing this now, and only in the past few years we've been able to do live broadcasts. Previously, it was not very affordable, and we run on a very tight budget. To be able to do a live broadcast would have been prohibitively costly, something we can't afford. Right now, with the wireless technology and the NDI and all that, enable us to be able to roll out live broadcasts within our form of cost structure. There's a lot less time spent on the setup as well. We noticed that, yeah. So the team is able to come in on that one day, set up, they test it. I'm not a technical person, so I don't really know. But by the evening, it's all up and running and good to go. And the quality is fantastic. And that's what we're looking for.
My name is Jane. I'm from Midwich Asia. So we're very excited to be part of this MSF Merdeka race together with MSF and Kiloview. And we're introducing them what's possible in live production on the NDI ecosystem. Traditionally, when it comes to live production on sports, especially motorsports, at such a large venue with 15 corners in Sepang Circuit, you actually will expect like big OV bands, using RF and satellites to get all your remote feeds. But we make it possible with NDI on wireless as well as in NDI-HX. So when this was being introduced and we shared this to MSF, like saying, hey, why don't we give this a try and see how long we can run this perfectly and seamlessly and smoothly for the whole live production. So yep, we're glad that ever since we set up since yesterday and today, it has gone well. Even the setup was simple because the cabling is already been reduced almost half of it compared to the traditional baseband methods. As well as with the wireless, it's possible as well with NDI-HX because it doesn't require a very high bandwidth, and we have managed to receive as all the 6 camera feed smoothly and no issue at all. Well, at this moment, we have been running almost 6 hours and we've got like another 6 hours to go. So we will foresee like if we have not had any problem faced from the 6-hour stream earlier, I think we have no issue for the next 6 hours. With NDI was being introduced, I have to say even myself, when full bandwidth was not possible, it was hard for a lot of people to accept because network infrastructure is challenging because of full bandwidth. But when HX was being introduced, it became possible, accessible by actually I would say medium and low budgeted production crew. So with HX now, I think I'm confident we were able to achieve more reach to the mid and the low tier of our live production team. We actually work with a team of this production team that has been on SDI baseband. And when we introduced them, the NDI workflow and the whole ecosystem, they were not very familiar with it because, of course, they are not IT savvy guys. But by introducing them and educating them, you can actually hybrid those SDI baseband or HDMI into NDI workflow and make it possible to reuse their existing equipment, but to have the back-end infrastructure in NDI that's set up with less cabling and less hassle of even packing, for example, compared to network. So now you can see a bunch of network cables that is being used. With 6 streams into one network is possible.
It's been an experience here in the Merdeka race. Seeing Kiloview and NDI in action proves that streaming can be affordable, agile, and flexible. And the day is still young. I'll see you guys on the next video.